You're a Muslim?
Yeah.
Um, because the Quran shows that Allah is not all powerful.
No, I'm talking about the picture here. It says Allah is not God.
Hmm.
So we're
Yeah,
disproving your God.
the Quran. Allah is not my God.
Allah literally means God. So you're saying God is not God.
Well, the God of the Quran.
Yeah.
That's
So
his
so
name.
yeah. So you gotta clarify that. This is like I will encourage you to do so because you're saying literally God is not God. This is what you're
No,
writing here.
that is the Islamic God is not God. That's what this
Yeah.
means.
But then also although
Everybody knows that this is what it is. Nobody else
also
differentiates
the
that.
Arab Christians
So
too.
are you a Muslim?
Yeah, I am.
All right, so let's get into it, man. I don't believe that your God is God. Would you like to hear why?
Go ahead.
Because he's not all powerful. He can't do everything on his own by himself.
Do you think so?
Yeah, could he have a son if he wanted to?
Yeah, he can do everything.
Would he need help to have a son? Or could he do it by himself?
He can do everything by himself.
So if he needed help to do that, then that would mean he's not God, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Quran says, how can Allah have a son when he doesn't have a mate?
So he doesn't have a son. That doesn't mean that he couldn't have a son.
I know, but it says he would need a mate to do it. He would need a companion. That's chapter 6, verse 101. So the fact that he
Yeah.
needs a companion to have a son means that he's not all powerful. He can't do it by himself.
Yeah. But then, how about in the Bible? I can.
Oh, come on, brother. You don't got to do the shuffle that fast.
That's almost like world record
No.
time from
Okay.
there.
Listen, bro. I'm not here to debate. I would just. I want you to clarify that you're saying God is not God, but
Yeah, so what do you think about the
but
point that I made?
okay. But Jesus also said that. Uh, I think in John.
Brother, what do you think about the point that I made? Do you think that it's sound? Do you think it's logical?
To be honest, I'm not a scholar. I gotta look this up, see what is
You don't
going
have to be a
on.
scholar. You don't have to be a scholar to recognize sound arguments. By what I presented to you, is my argument sound? Does it make sense?
If the verse actually says that.
Yes. You want to see it?
Yeah, I will after I finish. I will pull up. What was it?
It's chapter 6,
Chapter 6, verse what?
101.
101. Yeah, I will look at this, but then, uh,
We can show you it right now.
yeah.
Word, you there?
I mean, if you're like comfortable with this, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, of
Yeah, I'm
course,
here.
man.
What's happening?
Yeah, we're showing our friend chapter 6, verse 101.
Oh, okay.
So
My
it
bad,
says
man. My bad.
it's all good. It's all good. It says he is the originator of the heavens and the earth. How could he have a son when he doesn't have a companion? And he's the creator and knower of all things.
Did you read the context?
Yes, the verses before is talking about how the polytheistic Arabs are saying that Allah has a son and children. And so he's refuting them. He's refuting this accusation that he has children. And so his response is, how could he have a son when he has no companion?
Yeah. This is like a question. This is a rhetorical question or what? Because
Well, it's a rhetorical question in a way that refutes the accusation of the polytheists there who are saying that he has children. Here it is. He is the originator of the heavens and the earth. Go ahead and move to the side. And the earth. How could he have children when he has no mate? He is of all things. He created all things and has knowledge of everything.
okay. So what is the tafsir for this verse?
The tafsir is, well, it depends on who you go to, but let's say Ibn Kathir, for example. Ibn Kathir breaks down how, in order for Allah to have a son, he would need someone, he would need a companion that's equal to him so that he can have a son with, like a real son, right? However, it's impossible for Allah to have somebody equal to him, a companion, right? So therefore,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a son. So in order for Allah to have a son, he would need an equal companion to have a son with. Because that doesn't exist and that's impossible, then it's impossible for Allah to have a son.
Yeah. So can you tell me what is the verse again? Sorry.
Chapter 6,
Yeah.
verse
Verse
101.
101. Yeah. So you just told me Ibn Kathir tafsir. Yeah, but then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Ibn Kathir focuses on the fact that Allah does not have a companion equal to him.
Yeah.
So he of course he doesn't have a son, because in order to have children, he's saying that you would need a companion equal to you to have children with.
Yeah, you need companions, but then why wouldn't you consider him talking before the human beings were there? So there was no one but Allah.
Exactly.
So he
There's
had
no
no
one.
companions.
There's no one but Allah, and so therefore he can't have children by himself. He can't do it.
Yeah, but I think this question denies the possibility of Allah having offsprings. That doesn't mean that he couldn't.
It means that he can't unless he has a companion. So it is possible for him to have a son if he had a mate, if he had a
Because
companion.
I can like, for example, say to you, can God lie? You would say no. So I'll be like, okay, so God cannot lie, so he cannot do all the stuff. So it doesn't work like that.
Lord, let me tell you the difference. The difference is that lying goes against the nature of God. So that's why it was impossible for him to lie, because he is literally truth in his essence.
This
right?
is the same here, because in our beliefs, to have a son, for God to have a son, is out of his nature.
No, it's
in our
not.
beliefs.
Your Quran doesn't say that. Your Quran says if he wanted to, he could have a son. Chapter 39, verse 4.
Yeah, if he wanted to, but then it also here denies.
So then he could do something then that's outside of his nature then to you then, right?
Yeah, because he can do everything.
Okay. So, however, this is the one thing he can't do, or at least he can do it. He would just need help. That's the point.
So chapter 112, verse 3, it says he neither begets nor is born. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's just telling me what he doesn't do. That doesn't tell me that he can't.
He's clarifying that the God cannot have kids or family or whatever, son.
But you said he could.
No, I'm not saying could in the way of like he cannot actually do this. No, I'm saying from his nature.
Could he have a son or not?
According to what? To his nature?
Just can he have a son, period?
No, he can't.
Okay. Well, this says in the Quran.
Okay. So yeah, I would say he can, but then he told me that he did not have, but he
Very
can.
good. Yeah. Okay. Good. So now, see, I'm talking about the ability now, not whether he did or didn't. I'm talking about his ability. Could he, if he wanted to? Now you're saying yes, he can, but he didn't. Gotcha.
So do you believe that God, if he wants to lie, he would not be able to lie?
He can't. No, he can't. He cannot. He can't even desire to lie. That's not in his nature. That'll be a flaw. That wouldn't be a power to him. That would be a flaw for God to be able to lie. That would mean he's flawed and sinful. You know? God is perfect. Lying is imperfection.
Yeah.
But having a son, that has nothing to do with perfection or imperfection.
Because yeah. So the perfection is that God doesn't need a partner to do anything.
Very good. That's the perfection. He doesn't need a
Yeah.
partner to do anything. However, the Quran says that he does. He needs a partner in order to have a son, which means he's not perfect.
No. The way you're interpreting this verse is not right.
What do you mean? That's exactly what it says.
Because again, that was a rhetorical question, which emphasizes that God, he could not have a son because this is not from God's nature.
No, it says he can't have a son if he doesn't have a mate.
So you think if he had a companion, he could have a son?
Yeah, that's what the verse implies. It's like if I said this, Michael. If I said, how can I drive the car if I don't have the keys? What do I need in order to drive the car based on that statement?
Keys.
Right. So that would mean that the reverse is correct. If I had the keys, then I could drive the car. So same here. Allah says, how could he have a son when he doesn't have a mate or companion? Meaning, if he had a companion, he could have a son. But he doesn't have a companion, so he can't have a son. Just like if I don't have the keys, I can't drive the car.
Yeah. So this is the thing that you're that you believe in, that my God is not perfect. Like this is the thing.
Correct.
Yeah. So why God does the same?
My God is able to have a son without a companion. He beget his son of his own essence.
But then his son cannot do anything by himself.
Yeah, he's inseparable from the Father. That's what that means. He doesn't work alone. He and the Father always work together. So if you're seeing the difference here, the difference is that my God is able to beget a son of his own essence without relying on a companion, while Allah is unable to have a son without a companion.
Yeah, but then however, he cannot do anything by himself. But the Father can do anything by himself.
I just broke that down, brother.
Yeah,
in that same passage, Jesus says the Son could do nothing of himself, only what he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, the Son does it the same way. So you see how Jesus just said that the Son can do whatever the Father can do?
Yeah.
So he's not talking about ability, because he has the ability to do whatever the Father can do. He just doesn't work alone. He's not separate from the Father. Everything he does is always in line with the Father and vice versa.
Why does the Father need the Son if he can do everything by himself?
Nobody said that.
So why did he have a son then? He could do everything by himself. Why did he have a son?
It's his nature. He begets the Son.
To have a son.
That's his nature.
This is his nature, to have a son.
Yes. To beget a son, the Son proceeds from the Father's essence, his word. The Son is the Father's word.
Yeah, so
the word of God, and then you have the Spirit. So with this being said, do you see how Allah in this instance is imperfect because he needs a companion in order to have a son?
Yeah,
you see the point I'm making?
So from God's nature to have a son, this is from God's nature, right?
Yes.
How does that make sense?
Because he's able to do that, and it's necessary. Because, like for example, the scripture describes God as love. And so God would be the most loving, the greatest. He would have the greatest quality of love. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So by God's nature, he's relational, because he's love. Love is relational. If we're talking about the greatest forms of love, we can actually compare. For example, you have selfish love, right? Where you love yourself, right? You can love yourself. You take care of yourself. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But what would you say is better? Loving just yourself or sharing that love with another? Which one is better?
Sharing.
I would agree. So shared love is greater than selfish love. So that means since God is the greatest, his love within his essence, because he is love, he would have to at least be able to demonstrate shared love by himself. But shared love requires multiple persons. So this would mean that God in his essence, by his nature, would have to be multiple persons, at least two. Which would show you why it's necessary that the Father begets the Son.
So you're saying that he could have like two sons if he wanted, or like you because you're saying at least two. So that means like if like some
So it's the
passage
Father,
in the Bible,
it's the Father and it's the Son that love each other, but there's also the Holy Spirit who proceeds from the Father.
Yeah, but
because there's another form of love that's even greater than shared love. It's called cooperative love. That's where the two who have their shared love also give that love to another. That's cooperative love. So that's why the Trinity is necessary.
Yeah.
But with Allah, he's only able to have selfish love because there's no one else. He's not a Trinity. He's not three persons within his essence or two. He's only one. One person, one divine essence. So Allah is only capable of selfish love. He's not even capable of the greatest form of love.
No,
so not only is he
Allah, so Allah loves all his all the humanity. So he loves all of us.
But you see what you did there? In order for Allah to have shared love, he's dependent on humanity. He's dependent on creation. But see, God is greatest because he doesn't depend on creation.
He's depending on humans because he loves them.
In order to have shared love,
no, I'm not talking about shared love. I'm talking about Allah loves all the human. So does that mean that he's dependent on them because he loves them?
Yeah, no. He's dependent on them to have a higher quality of love than selfish love.
What are you talking about selfish love? That
did you get lost in our conversation, brother? Look, we talked about the higher qualities of love, right? Remember we talked about selfish love versus shared love. Which one is greater? We said shared love is greater, remember?
Yeah.
Shared love is greater than selfish love. We already agreed to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I'm saying with Allah, he's only capable of selfish love by himself until he creates something that he's able to have shared love with. That means that he would be dependent on creation in order to have the higher quality of love. He's dependent now.
Yeah, so you're talking about the shared love and selfish love.
Yes.
From our perspective as a human being, because this is our standard. But then please let me finish. If we applied our standard to the God, if for example the shapes analogy or whatever, you're saying no, God is a different thing. There's a different nature. So you're applying our standards to God as in loving, like you're telling me the shared love and selfish love.
No. So what I'm showing you is that actually we get this concept from God himself. This comes from God's nature, not us. So would you say, like you already agreed, that God is the greatest conceivable being, right? Whatever man can conceive of, God is even greater than that. Would you agree?
He's the creator, yeah.
So the fact that we're able to conceive of a greater form of love than selfish love means that God is the greatest of the forms. He's the greatest. So the greatest form of love requires multiple persons. That's the greatest form of love we can conceive requires multiple persons. So God within his essence has to be multiple persons. He's the greatest conceivable being.
Yeah, so the great type of love is the shared love, yeah?
It's greater than selfish love. Cooperative love would be the greatest form.
But then you think God with all his power, he cannot love us with the selfish that you're saying about it, the selfish love more than
selfish love is only selfish love by definition is loving oneself, bro.
So you're saying, so I'm telling you that he loves all the human beings, and you're saying no, he's selfish, he's
But
whatever
okay,
that.
before he created human beings, what did he love
What did he
outside
love?
of himself? Yeah, outside of himself, before creating anything, before creation, what did Allah love?
I don't know.
Nothing. Only himself.
No. I said I don't know. That doesn't mean that he didn't love anything.
Okay. Did
I said
anything
I don't know.
exist outside of Allah before creation?
Before creation, no.
So then that means he's the only thing that he can love, right? Because nothing else exists, right?
Again, you're using the logic.
I am using logic. That's
Yeah.
logic,
So
baby.
when we explain the Trinity and we say it's illogical, you say no. Our logic
Yeah,
is not.
no, I don't say that our logic is incapable. We break down how the Trinity is not illogical. Now, there's a certain matter of the Trinity that goes beyond our logic, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's illogical. So I'm
Maybe
talking about,
maybe
I'm using
yeah.
logic because God gave us this.
Maybe you didn't, but there is a lot of Christians that do. But
Well,
however,
maybe they're not equipped to explain that far. That's all.
yeah. Yeah, as I told you, I'm not a scholar. I'm not gonna, I'm not here to debate. I just wanted to tell you about this. Allah is not God. It's kind of, you can say like Muslims God is, or Muslims, Allah of the Muslims is not
Do you
God or something
see?
like that.
Do you see how my reasoning though did my reasoning make sense? Was it fair?
What?
Was my reasoning fair on why I say that Allah is not God, the God of the Quran?
If you're, yeah, I mean, you believe so
No, it's
yeah,
not what I believe. I'm asking you. Was my reasoning when I broke it down and I gave you my argument? Was it fair? Was it a fair argument?
it was fair, but you couldn't convince me. However, yeah, it was. I mean, it was. Yeah, it like depends on your debate skills and whatever. But then that doesn't mean that I have. Even if you have a debate skills, that doesn't mean I have to believe in every single word you say.
Yeah, what I would want you to do, bro, is just think about it. That's all. I just want to plant that seed. I want you to think about it, and don't just put it to the side and let it go and ignore it. No, this is a real problem because if what I'm saying is correct, then you're believing in something that is not truly God. You're following a false God, and the true
Yeah,
God, you need to come to the true
to be
God.
honest, I have stuff to say, but I'm not. As I said, I don't do the debates and stuff, so I don't know how to say that, and I will be lose definitely. So I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah,
Well, keep coming, man. If you keep coming, you're welcome. You've been an amazing guest. Keep coming and engaging, and the stuff that you have to say. I would love to hear you try to communicate that, and I'll even try to help you. And if you have some objections against Christianity or the Trinity, I'll be happy to talk to you about it. Okay.
all right, man. Thanks.
All right. Take care, bro. Thanks
Yeah,
for
thanks.
coming. All right. I think I'm gonna end it on that good note. I liked him.
That wasn't half bad, Logic. That wasn't half bad.
Wasn't that bad, man. Wasn't that bad. I like that guy. We're able to get from point A to point B to point C to point D. Like I like people like that that they can honestly accept a point that was made